Hi, I'm Kathy Herschelman, and the purpose of this video is to help you with the electronic submission of your UMAP accreditation packet. So we used to do this through notebooks, and now we have moved fully electronic. And I just want to give you some tips and tricks to hopefully make this process go smoothly for you. It's up to you whether you prefer to use a thumb drive or have a Google Drive and then just share it with us. Either way, the process is going to start off the same as it always has. You're going to go to our website, umapfl.com, and look for the accreditation tab. Scroll all the way to the bottom where you're going to download the standards. We like to refer to this as the accreditation standards free guide, and you will want to refer to this even once you're working on putting your whole packet together. This is when you begin your self-study. So you're going to carefully read through all of these standards. There are items that are very similar, so you're going to want to understand all of them up front. I want to encourage you to involve your whole staff in this process. This is your opportunity to make some wonderful improvements in your school, and it helps to have everyone embrace this, knowing that we just want to have the best school that we can have. Note that Section A has to be 100% verified to move forward, and the items in A1.5 and A1.6, actually you need to get some of the standards from B4 to complete that. So make sure that you are, again, familiar with all of the standards. Once you feel like you've got a good handle on that, you're going to complete and return the application and mail that in to our executive director. And then you will receive the accreditation, observation, and evaluation packet. More than likely, you'll receive this in your email. Once you've received this, now you're really ready to get started. You're going to start off with Section A. And as I mentioned, you're going to start assembling all of the documents. And I encourage you to have an accreditation folder ready that you just keep putting the items in over time. Now, this process can take up to a year, so don't try to rush it. Take your time and just make sure that you're putting everything together so that you're organized at the end. I highly recommend that you group things in the same ways that we have them, the standards laid out. So you can see that I have a Section A, administrative requirements, a Section B, program management, and Section C, health and safety. Those are the three main sections of the accreditation. And then in this top folder, I have a few items that are just handy for your commissioners to review. Here's the director checklist. That's kind of the scorecard where you rate yourself. I have a copy of my parent handbook and a copy of my staff handbook. Now, I've also put my teachers' transcripts and my assistants' transcripts on this main page because your commissioner might want to reference that when they're in Section A and Section B. This sort of highlights when you drill into Section A. You'll see that each item has its own section for it. A 1.1, my license to operate is in there. 1.3 shows a new inspection and so forth. Then I've also created a folder, or document A, administrative requirements, that enumerates each one of those in any kind of narration that might be needed. I want to remind you again that to complete Section A 1.5, you will need to refer to the original standards regarding education. Each school must have an early childhood specialist, and the specialist must have at least a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. Now, I know a lot of people or schools have people with education majors, but for the early childhood specialist, we do require an early childhood degree. It might be tricky to find somebody on staff that has this degree, so feel free to find a volunteer, maybe a board member, somebody at your church, and maybe they can do some training or consulting or even help you with this accreditation packet to serve as this early childhood specialist. This is going to benefit your school greatly. You're going to also want to refer to those free standards to understand what we're looking for the staff qualifications. Now here I've given you an example of B 4.8, which is with regards to assistant teachers. And you're going to actually want to ask them to answer each one of these items. You're going to do this for your assistant teachers, your support staff. Now, I like to do this in a Google form. I find that very handy to just send out the Google form to my staff and have them answer, but you're welcome to do it in any format you want. You might want to just print it out on a piece of paper, have them answer it, and then you can scan those. So we do need the answers to these, but what format you use is up to you. Moving on to section B, you're going to print out these scorecards and you're just going to go through as you assemble your materials and give yourself a rating. They're on the left-hand side, and you can see that your UMAP commissioners will use the right-hand side to decide if they agree that all the items are present. I highly want to encourage you to document, document, document. It's not enough to tell us that you're involved with your church. We want to see some pictures. We want to see newsletters, bulletins, emails, any items that you have that you can provide are just going to really help us get a great snapshot of your church. I recommend that you take lots and lots of pictures. And I do a lot of this through Snippet. That's a great snipping tool for taking a screenshot and then cutting and pasting it directly into my Word document that has all of my standards, how I've met them on there. It also really helps your commissioner if you group your paperwork together. So for example, here I have all of my staff's CPR and first aid cards in one document. This way the commissioner doesn't have to go all over looking for this. When they're ready to do standard B 7.1, they're going to find all CPR cards in there. And that's going to help your commissioner a lot. Once you've completed those sections, then you're ready to take a look at section D. Section D is actually where you go in and visit your classroom. So this is where you're really going to begin to involve your staff. I encourage you to make a copy of this for each teacher, and do be careful that you provide them the correct age group. So we're looking at the standards for 4- and 5-year-olds. And so you're going to make sure you give them the right age group that they need. And they're going to get to read through the standards and what should be met in their classroom. Additionally, they're going to get to write in how they believe those standards are being met in their classroom. Now that's going to help them to really decide if they're meeting the standards or not. It's going to help the director when you come in to visit to see what items they felt they had that met that requirement. And of course, it's also going to help your validator when they're on site to be able to easily reference items if they're not seeing it. It may be that you can't have everything in your room the day that your validator's there. And so this is your proof for those items. Now, once you've printed out the section D for each classroom and made your marks on there, you can see there's a column for the validator and one for the director, then you will just keep section D at the school. So this doesn't need to be sent to the executive director. This will not be shared with the commissioner. This is kept on site, and this is to help you so that you're ready when the validator comes to visit. Now that you've completed all of that paperwork, you're ready to fill out this application and mail it in that says that you're ready for your validation visit. So you'll send in that application along with either your thumb drive that you've put it on, so you'd want to mail it, or along with the Google Drive, sharing the Google Drive link. And if you do that, then we can easily just view it online. So it's your choice which way you do that, but you'll want to decide that up front for sure. I want to let you know that the UMAP board is made up of a group of beautiful Christian women that are here to support you through this process. If you run into any issues, we can assign a mentor to you to help out. And once again, you can just reach out to Linda McClashen, the executive director, to help you with that. Best of luck, and I know that we're just going to keep making our Methodist schools better and better through accreditation. Thank you very much.